winning another track championship when you've won so many and then the streak got
I think it keeps me young. They're so enthusiastic right now. It's like, hey, we're getting ready to start our own history, and versus the continuum, and cross country, laid the option to get things going and dominate it. And now let's see if we can carry that momentum into indoor. And I think our kids are super excited.
Some teams they're relying in a certain area, maybe a sprints events, or you guys look like you have pretty good scoring potential across the board.
If we don't have to count points in the throws, we're pretty balanced after that. And I think that we have depth in some areas. Our sprint group is more depth laden than ever before, and I think that Chris has just really optimized that opportunity. And then Brian just does always a great job with the vault and the multis, and then the distance crew is pretty salty in spite of being young.
Who are going to be your, I guess, heaviest workhorses in terms of doing multiple events?
We're actually not trying to load people up too much. We might double a couple people. I mean, people like Peyton Chadwick, she'll run the hurdles, the 200 and the mile relay. Janique Brown will double. So we're not getting people too far stretched out. And the distances, we'll maybe double, the mile 3 or the 5-3, something of that nature, but not overload the kids at all. Basically to get them ready for NCAAs down the road.
With Taylor, would she run the 5, the 3?
Taylor wants to run the 5,000 and come back in the 3,000.
Really?
And so she hadn't got a chance to run a 5 this year. Not that she's going to try to get a national qualifier or whatever, but just contribute to the team. One of the real trademarks of this group is they're all asking, what can I do to help score more points for the team? So it's very, very team oriented.
Kelsey, is she just going to do the multi?
She'll do just the multi, and then save her for the NCAA meet. Those 5 events are very taxing, especially the 800 for her. So we don't want to gamble and maybe sacrifice her opportunities at the national meet.
How's Taylor been feeling? With that back?
Taylor, that back procedure that they did for us, we're really blessed to have a great medical staff. And if they don't have an answer, they'll find somebody that does have answers. And we're really, really fortunate to have that philosophy. And they just kept doing research after research and finally said, hey, we can do this procedure that'll take care of her back and she won't have pain. And ever since that's been done, she's been a whole new person. And the rewards speak for themselves. She's one of the top 3,000 meter runners in the United States, and if I had pushed it, I think she would have been one of the top 5,000 meter runners. But also she anchored our distance medley last week, which set a meet and stadium record, and she literally ran away from all-Americans that were chasing her like crazy, and she just put them away with no problem at all.
Would she run on the DMR too?
No, I won't stretch her that much.
Yeah.
We'll just go 5 and 3.
Excessive. Yeah.
But we could.
Yeah. And having Peyton back, how big is that?
To have a local hero, especially with her abilities and her leadership, is exceptional. And, I hope for anybody's sake that Peyton is able to go out and do what she's capable of and help lead us to a conference championship.
Do you feel like you guys are the heavy favorites or slight? I know you're number 1 in the country, but the SEC is so competitive.
The SEC, people have a tendency to come out of the woodwork and have just performances that no one could have predicted. And I think that we're going to have to kind of keep those at bay. But there's no doubt the target's on our back, and it's pretty large. So we'll see if we can hold people off.
Who do you see as being your main
Well, Florida is always a great team. They're in the top 5 in the nation. LSU is in the top 5. And A&M has always a great balanced program. They've had a couple setbacks of late, but I think that they always have a tendency to rise up at the conference championship.
You're number 1, you're at home. Is that a lot of pressure? And if so, how do you feel about your kids?
It can
embrace that?
We're trying to get them to hey, let's just go out there, have fun, do your job, and don't try to make something a mountain out of the molehill. Let's just go in and do what you're capable of. And if you do that, I think cumulatively the results will speak for themselves.
having the twins in their senior year and knowing that you can count on them, how important is that?
Well, again, same type of a leadership as Peyton Chadwick. They've been there, they've done that, they know how to succeed, they always can be counted on, and that becomes very infectious with the rest of the crew. And so the twins, the sad part is that at the end of this year, they're going to be gone, and that's going to make all the coaching staff a little more sad. But the whole idea is that they have just done a fantastic job ever since they arrived.
Parker has really come along in this season. What do you say about how she's come along in her time?
I mean, Kiara is one of those that's kind of been a project in a study project basically for Chris Johnson. She started out as a good, solid competitor, but she's grown in the training system and in the result in competition has been exceptional. Kiara is one of those that now has announced herself as not only a player at the SEC level, but also at the NCAA level. And we're really proud of how she's been able to rise up and evolve in the program.
Good?
Good for everybody?
Yep.